It's been brought to my attention, and I've been talking about this a lot, but I just realized yesterday because I was watching The Truth Is on YouTube. If you guys are familiar with him, should definitely subscribe to that channel. He puts out some good stuff. It's called The Truth Is. But he made a video about the streamers, and I've been talking about the streamers, how they're the new influencers. Dave, really, the past 5 years have slowly became the new thing. It's no longer Hollywood, right? It's no longer the people who make music much anymore, right? It's these streamers, and maybe they tie it together with Hollywood actors who are now coming into this, and this guy's Speed showing up in WWE, and they're celebrities. He's in commercials now too with other people like LeBron James and all that. But it's been brought to my attention that these guys are pushing obviously an agenda with delinquency and being degenerates, but a homosexual agenda. And I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, if you're gay, you're going to hell. There's something mentally wrong with you. Listen, you're gay, you're gay. You're trans, you're trans. You're whatever. You want to be non-binary. That's whatever. But the thing is that there's kids watching these guys. People closer to my age range, because I'm in my late 20s, they are kind of getting influenced by this, but I would definitely say it's people in their early 20s and especially the teen years, because if you ask people in their early 20s, in their teens especially, what they want to do, they want to be social media influencers. Think about when we were kids, right? 20 years ago, people would say instead they wanted to be actors or whatever. They want to be musicians, singers, right? Maybe even some software stuff with video games. I remember people used to say a lot. They want to help develop video games or whatever. But now they want to chase views. They want to chase likes. They want to chase comments. They want to get shares. They want to get followers and subs. I get it. I totally get it. Hey, I'm a content creator. I barely have a following, but I totally understand it, right? Because I'm trying to reach an audience, but my messages are positive. I have good messages. Listen, what I talk about might sound negative, doom and gloom. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory, Justin, whatever. But I am telling you the truth, and all you have to do is look in what I'm talking about extensively, not just do a little Google search and read a CNN article or Fox News article debunking conspiracy theories. Yes, there are theories out there, but I talk about conspiracy reality. But anyway, there's clips of these two right here doing gay stuff, right? Like kissing men, admitting to bisexuality. They shower together too. There's plenty of stuff with them showering together. And listen, I know this guy Kai Cenat, he showers live in a bathing suit or whatever. Like he's constantly basically living his life on camera. Same with Speed, to a point where he doesn't get privacy. Like he shower. I don't know when he goes number two what happens, but when he takes a shower, he has a bathing suit on, right? And they did it together with bathing suits on. But would you do this with your friend or for your boy? People might say they're just trying to get views, Justin. They're just doing what it takes. Yeah, they are. They definitely have done what it takes. I mean, look at this. Look at this right here. They're always touching each other, getting closer than necessary. Subconscious gay cues, right? And they're on camera a lot kissing men. There was a clip I saw where, whatever, someone in the chat here, I don't know if you could see it in the top right corner, it might be a little hard to see because it's going so fast, but people are like, "Oh, kiss, I dare you," right? And I mean, look at how the chat is just endless. How there's so many people you can't even read what they're saying because there's millions of people tuned in, right? These guys have like 10 million followers collectively, maybe more even. And a lot of them are teens, right? Because again, it's the streamers that are now setting the tone. They're not looking at Hollywood movies anymore and the people who make music now. It's going out of style. And we know Hollywood's been declining a long time because, of course, they've been exposed really for the past 10 years now. I would say since like 2016, that year, with the QAnon stuff and Pizzagate when that came about. But, Hollywood's been exposed for what it is. It continues to get exposed today. We all know they're pedophiles. We all know you got to do some crazy stuff, rituals to selling your soul, right, to get to a certain level. And that's exactly what these guys have done. It is exactly what these guys have done. They are no different than the Hollywood actors. They're doing the same thing. They will not let the powers that be in this world will not let you get nearly this popular unless you sell out. And with their homosexual agenda, what's going on is they're bringing on younger streamers now who are popular. I don't remember their names or who they are even. But there was a 16-year-old streamer, right, who's really popular, and he's hanging out with these two. And he's on camera. He's like, "Yo, I'm bisexual. This and that. I'm bisexual." And he's asking one of the guys there to have sex with him. And he's like begging. He's like, "Yo, come on, just have sex with me. This and that." And then there's like another clip of being like, "Yo, remember the other day you were asking me to have sex?" And he's like denying it or whatever. So weird, strange stuff, right? This is what you got to do to get on top. And then you have like these are the major influencers in the game right now. Is these two? And besides the homosexual stuff, because again, if you're gay, okay. If you want to be trans, okay. But you need to be able, you can't decide these things until you're an adult. You can't be pushing it on kids, especially as young as 5 years old, which is what we've seen, right? With when the past 5 years, when Joe Biden came in power, right? Was selected, I should say, to be the president, right? And then they just were propagating all this filth at us through mainstream media, through influencers. They were completely gaslighting the American people with ridiculous narratives about 5-year-olds having the right to mutilate themselves. The school system can't tell their parents if their kid wants to do these things or wants to be called a certain gender or a different name, whatever it might be. They were having drag queens read to kids. They were having the genderless bathrooms or whatever, and having really strange arguments about men playing in women's sports. It was all to gaslight the American people so that the people would turn to Trump and be like, "We want a savior. We want rationality. We want logicality back in the United States. Please, Donald Trump, come back in power. We're tired of this constantly bashing men, destroying masculinity, the attack on children, making it all about gays and trans and women and diversity." People were so sick of it that that's why they turned to Trump, and it's still to today, right? People are under Trump derangement system, whether they love him or hate him. It's a derangement syndrome to where they either love him so much or they hate him so much, or people just are in between and don't even freaking pay attention, that they don't see what he's really doing and what's going on and what the bigger picture is with politics, right? That was the whole point of them pushing all that stuff. It's not because of the Democrats. It was deliberately done because the Republicans and the Democrats are one and the same. It's Coke and Pepsi. They might taste a little different, but they're cola in the end of the day. So I don't mean to digress here. I'm just trying to get you to see the bigger picture with what they're doing with these agendas. But these guys target teens. I probably should have researched before this what the actual age range watches these guys. But if I were to assume, probably anywhere from like 10 years old to 25 years old is their biggest age range of audience. And listen, like, I can see why, like, especially if you're in their teen years and their early 20s, like, why they would fall for these things. Like, I mean, not fall for it, but, like, why they would gravitate to this and think it's funny and entertaining, because it is, right? Like, I'm not going to lie. I've watched these guys a lot. There's clips of these guys that come up on my feed, whether it be on X or on Instagram, whatever. And some of the stuff they do is entertaining. It's funny. Like, I get it. But it's like, okay, it's like they're constantly just doing stupid shit. Like, they're constantly doing delinquency. They're not promoting anything positive. They're not talking about truth. They're definitely not promoting morality. They're just chasing views. Everything they're being fake. Everything they're doing is for the camera. We don't know what's going on really behind the scenes and who really owns them and what they're really doing to keep this level of fame. These guys are the influencers. And the problem is kids' parents do not understand this at all. Because people who are, let's say, 40 plus, they have no clue about the streamers. They know about Hollywood and all that stuff. And people being influenced through music, TV, movies, politics, whatever it might be. They might be a little aware of that. But they're not aware of the streamers. They're not aware of their kids' issues. And how the government corrupt school system. Because it's a government institution that we send our kids to. That I went through myself, mind you. When the government is rear-ending our kids, and they've already rear-ended all of us with lies, but it's getting worse with our kids, right? We've seen the complete feminization of men now. We've seen what they've done to women. I just talked about this in my last video, how they turned the American woman into a monster. This doesn't go for all women, doesn't go for all men, but the vast majority, okay? And it's through people like these guys, when you feminize the youth, because what kids are going to do, because they play around with their gender, these two, right? It's not even like, all right, they're like having sex or doing anything crazy sexual in the camera. But what they're doing is, right, they're kissing other guys, they're talking about being bisexual, They're playing around with their gender, doing feminist, not, excuse me, doing feminine type gestures. Like they're doing like challenges, right? Where it's like, do this feminist, my God, feminine, excuse me, this woman type gesture. I can't even talk right now. They're doing gestures of women, right? And they're doing like these challenges, talking like women, being gender fluid. That's what they're doing. They're being gender fluid. They're playing around with it. One day being a man, a woman, playing a certain gender role, and kids are seeing it and saying they're bisexual, right? And again, nothing wrong with being gay or bisexual, but let's not promote it to kids. This is deliberately being done. This is how the powers that be get to the kids. They do it through these influencers. It started with my generation through TV, through shows, through music. Then it became through social media. And now we have the influencers. But my generation mainly got influenced from Hollywood, right? And now you have internet personalities. You have even, it can go even deeper to people who are older, like the accounts on X or these rage baits accounts you see on there. CIA accounts on there that have a lot of followers that promote hate, promote division, right? And I don't know if these guys get into stuff politically, but besides the gay stuff that they're promoting to kids, which is confusing them, that's what it does. It confuses kids. It makes them not sure of who they really are because they have bad role models. They have bad influences in their lives, and the parents don't realize it. The parents aren't teaching their kids real truth or morality, teaching them the worldly way of truth or morality, which is wrong. So not only is my generation completely lost, but the up and coming generation is going to be even more lost. And they have absolutely no clue who they are because from the day they were born, social media was already very relevant, and social media was given to them, or just, I should say, these blue screens, right? iPad, smartphone to keep them occupied from before the age of 5. The younger generation's attention span is done. My generation's is bad, but the younger generations, because of the shorts, the TikToks, the 10-second videos, right, of all these things happening in 10 seconds, and just keep scrolling infinitely, it destroys their attention span and their ability to critically think. They're just being fed information through an algorithm that's controlled by the same people that control these people, and Hollywood, and the media, and your politicians, and the Federal Reserve, and the entire world's banking system. So my point is that these guys are promoting complete degeneracy to the kids. And this is why I make this content. We need to educate our kids on these people. We need to educate parents. We need to educate everyone on these people and make them irrelevant because they're not providing any value to society. They are participating in dysgenics, which is destroying humanity through an environment. Through the environment, they are destroying us through what we see, what we're consuming on a daily basis. And it's all lies. Everything to keep us away from truth, and anything they can do to turn us immoral and turn us into psychopaths. And it's worked very well. They're winning. They're people, just because I don't even want to get into it with Trump. People think Trump's in office, we won, because they think it's the Democrats that are doing this. It has nothing to do with Republican, Democrat. Those are two wings on the same bird. Until people can actually point fingers at who's really perpetrating this, nothing will change. So I think I said enough here. Let me know what you guys think if you're familiar with these two.